All right, Lions fans, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to start this video. I got some frustrations. We had this is kind of interesting. Peter Schrager was on, Get Up this week, and he said that the Detroit Lions have the single most important player in the NFC. The single most important player in the NFC. We're going to talk about who that is. Then we're going to talk about supporting casts. And then we're going to talk even a little bit about the NFC North. But I might wait till the next video. We'll see how long of a rant I go on this one. Because quite frankly, I'm starting to get sick of the narrative that's going on this offseason. The Detroit Lions went the last 4 years, 3-13-1, 9-8. Knocked the Packers out of the playoffs, just in case anybody forgot about that. That was so much fun. 12-5, and then 15-2. And now the whole narrative is, the Lions, I don't know if they're going to be good enough. And it's all of a sudden everything that's wrong. Jared Goff is only good because of Ben Johnson. Bull. All right. Jared Goff is only good because of his supporting cast. Jared Goff is only good because of his offensive line. What do you think is easier to do? To be a quarterback that elevates the play of all of your players around you, or for all the players to be so darn good that they make the quarterback look like a Pro Bowler? It's hard to have 10 guys that are so remarkably good that they can take a quarterback who is a junk quarterback and make him look like an absolute stud and absolute star. Jared Goff isn't sitting here with top 15 passing metrics. Jared Goff isn't sitting here with even top 10. Over the last 3 years, 9-8, 12-5, 15-2, Jared Goff is top 3. He's top 3 in rating. He's top 3 in passing yards. He's top 3 in touchdowns. He is top 3 in anything that is dealing with throwing the football. So we can't sit here and talk about all this. But yet, Peter Schrager says Jared Goff is the single most important player in the NFC. Now, I don't necessarily disagree with him. Here's why he said it, though. I think Jared Goff is the single most important player in the NFC this season. There has been a raid of his coaching staff the last several years, 6 different coaches gone, including Ben Johnson, and now you're telling me that Frank Ragnow is gone, his long-term center. All right, this is interesting. So here's what they're basically saying. Well, without Ben Johnson and Frank Ragnow, this offense, does it go to crap? No. All right, now, Wasserman on PFF wrote at the top, Detroit's incredible supporting cast has been a big reason for Jared Goff's career renaissance. Following a mediocre 61.7 PFF passing grade in his first season with the Lions, Goff has recorded an 83.4 passing grade over the past 3 seasons. Yes, because he had crap around him in his first season. Look, here's the thing. This PFF article, there's a PFF article that's absolutely fantastic. And it's quarterbacks who got the most help from their supporting cast in 2024. And here's kind of what I have to say about it. Good offenses have good supporting casts. When we go through this, when we see Lions, Falcons, all right, now that offense scored a lot. We know Kirk Cousins wasn't good. Penix came in, looked a little bit better. Ravens, did anybody say, Lamar Jackson's just got a stacked roster? That's the only reason he's good. If he didn't have a good roster around him, what would he be able to do? No, nobody's saying that. All right, San Francisco 49ers with Brock Purdy. They probably are saying that. All right, Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles. He got a ton of help. And by the way, still looked extremely pedestrian at time. Last year, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Offense going off. Baker Mayfield, for the first time in his career, threw for over 30 touchdowns. In fact, he got 40 touchdowns. Is anybody saying, Baker Mayfield's not that good, he just has a really good supporting cast? Nobody's saying that. Question, is anybody saying that about Matt Stafford and the LA Rams? Absolutely not. In fact, with the Rams, with the Bucks, with the Ravens, the narrative around those teams is that they have quarterbacks that absolutely elevate the play of the rosters around them. Jared Goff elevates the rosters around him. That is what he does. So do I agree with Peter Schrager that Jared Goff might be the most important player in the NFC and that Jared Goff is the most important player on the Detroit Lions? Of course I do. Of course I agree with him, but it's not for the reasons he says. It's not because Ben Johnson is gone. It's not because Frank Ragnow is gone and he needs to now somehow be even better. No. He's important because he, I do believe, is what has unlocked everybody else. Oh, Jared Goff can't throw the deep ball. Plenty of deep balls went to J-Mo last year. Oh, Jared Goff can't throw the ball outside the numbers. He can only throw in the middle of the field. Not last year. Threw outside the numbers constantly. Right? He has proven that he can do that. Oh, Jared Goff. Man, when he gets under pressure, he just keeps fading back. Not last year. Not last year. Oh, Jared Goff with pressure. He doesn't do that well. Was better last year, but also, I do believe, was the number one quarterback, at least I know he was throughout most of the year, was the number one rated quarterback when facing the blitz. Man, I thought you had to be a mobile quarterback to do that. That doesn't make any sense to me. You want to know why? Because he's quick with his eyes. He's quick with his eyes. And when we look at Jared Goff and we look at what he does, and we look at the fact that he continually throws for well over 4,000 yards, okay, well over 4,000 yards, and the fact that he continues to do these things, over the last 3 years, I'm just going to give you a little tidbit of this. Over the last 3 years, 4,438 yards, 29 touchdowns, 7 picks. 2023, 4,575 yards, 30 touchdowns, 12 picks. He had a 99.3 and a 97.9 QB rating in those years. Last year, 72.4% completion percentage, 4,629 yards, 37 touchdowns to 12 interceptions with a QB rating of 111.8. That is remarkable. That was his best year yet. By the way, that is the third most passing yards he's had in a season, because in 2018 and 2019 with the Rams, he went for 4,688 and 4,638. He was just throwing more picks, all right? He was just throwing more picks. Jared Goff, this isn't lucky. This isn't lucky. When you look at overall in his career, he has always been a good to great quarterback. Those Rams years where everybody said he was absolutely terrible, overblown. Absolutely overblown. I'm telling you right now, those 2 years he put up QB ratings, I just want to be clear on this, of 86.5 and 90. 86.5 and 90. Just so you know, Baker Mayfield, right? He consistently has put together years that have worse QB ratings than that. Consistently. It wasn't until the last 2 years, and there was 1 year with the Browns, that he put up better ratings. Yes, Jared Goff's important. But what I get from these lists is that great supporting cast elevate quarterback play. It's really that simple. And if you don't have a great quarterback, if you don't have a good quarterback, it's really hard to have a supporting cast that grades out well. Because if the quarterback's not doing his job, it's difficult for them. And also, PFF grades, when they're looking at a quarterback, they're not taking into account if the wide receiver's doing the right thing. They're not looking at the offensive line. They're saying, with what the quarterback has been given, did he make the right choice? Did he make the right throw? And was that throw accurate and catchable? That's it. That's it. It's not a passer rating, which is largely based on talent, because some players just have better threats around them. So, yeah, the Detroit Lions have the most important player in the NFC this year. I agree with it, and I am so ready, and I really hope I really hope that Jared Goff shuts up the haters and the unbelievers. Like, how many times does he need to prove that he's the dude? How many times? He came to us in year one, and in the back half of the year, he kind of showed like, oh yeah, I can do this. Then in 2022, he proved that he was great. In 2023, he cemented it. In 2024, he took it to the next level. How many times does this guy have to prove that he's a great quarterback? He took to the Rams to the Super Bowl, for crying out loud. I'm just curious when we're going to start believing that he's good and he's elite from the pocket. I'm just wondering. All right. Maybe you do. How do you feel about Goff? How do you feel? Because I'm at the point where I think I'd rather have Goff as my starting quarterback than our old boy Matthew Stafford. His numbers are better. His decision-making. He had 12 picks each of the last 2 years. In last year, one game, he had 5. Man, if we could have gotten rid of that game, that QB rating would have been one of the best. 37 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. Dude would have been in the MVP candidate. All right. Hey, thank you all for watching. See you on the next one.